Left back in the changing room.
Way!
Game week 9, guys. Hello, listeners. We're back. You've got a fantastic house here. We're all back in the house.
Tell some friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Get international break.
It's Ricky Pellegrini.
Woo! Still top of the league. We are top of the league.
Well, there he is, Ricky Pellegrini, top of the league. We've also got Sean, the John McGinn fanboy.
Is that really still my name?
John boy. He's
John
trying
boy.
to change his name.
He's trying to change his name. John McGinn fanboy. He's trying to change his name.
It's not going to happen. And all the way from the Malibu Harbour, it's our man on the ground in LA. It's Captain Russ.
Good evening. Have you noticed that I bought John McGinn this week? So I'm the only one with him at the moment.
Good work. And there you go then, lads.
He only bloody got 1 point, didn't he? So, but anyway.
And you've just heard him. After his debut last week, emails were flying in. Get that lad back. Get him in. It's Mr. Neil Van Dijk. MVP.
Thanks for having me back, lads.
Not a problem, mate.
I might not be top of the fantasy league, but Liverpool are top of the league, so I'll take some.
The real league.
Is it over, the league?
I wish it was.
What happened this weekend?
I think we've got to start off with what happened at United.
What happened at United,
The
mate?
typical start of the season.
Yeah, what happened at United?
Newcastle won.
Well, it happened at
Start
St
of the
James's
episode.
Park, and got to say, listeners, we're sipping on a lemonade this week because we've got a busy marathon ahead of us on Sunday. So if the
try to
enthusiasm's
change the
not
subject.
quite there, we'll try. I'm trying to divert again. United were a little bit lacklustre. It was frustrating, in all fairness. I am a little bit concerned about the team at the moment. We did have a few chances. Maybe, second half, first 10-15 minutes, that's when we needed to convert a couple of the chances we had. Outside of that, it was a really poor performance from Manchester United, and Newcastle thoroughly deserved the victory. The Longstaff, the little ginger Scalzi, he came along.
Yeah.
He hit the bar, then he drilled one into the bottom corner. I do feel that it was a poor goal from our perspective. I don't know, it's really quite worrying, quite concerning. I said it last week, we've got two strikers, that's the problem.
Yeah, it goes without saying United are in trouble, mate, and in all seriousness, it really starting to hit home now. I kind of feel sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. We've kind of made jokes about him in the past, but now it really feels like this could spiral out of control a little bit.
He's got to turn it round, and he looks like he's out of ideas, to be honest. And I've said that we're not going to get rid of him because we love Ollie, but he's look at what he's done. He was managing in Norway, he's managed Cardiff, he's not really got it.
What's the difference though? Because let's try and give Solskjaer some respect, some credit, right? He came in and I think it was 14 games, and out of them the games he came in,
a winning streak.
It was a winning streak. I think it was 14 games that he won. So very much earned himself a contract. And do you feel that the players naturally, when a new manager comes in, were galvanised by that and rose up to the challenge?
I think it's a combination of two things, right?
Yeah. Or do you think it is the players rather than him? I mean, forget his coaching credentials.
I don't think he can manage the players. I personally think. I know Jimmy Ferguson was saying, there's a loyalty for a Man U player that historically has been with the club for so many years, and they stick with him. But how long will this last? This honeymoon period, because I see that I don't think he's no Ferguson, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to get the best out of Man United. They've a really good set of players, but he's not using them to their full potential. And who can you blame? You have to blame him.
Yeah, I completely agree, Captain, and the reason why I feel sorry for him is there's no real leaders in the youngsters are being relied upon to deliver the goods, but they shouldn't really be holding the responsibility for this Man United team. Man United team are still the biggest club in the world, in terms of what they've won and the legacy that Sir Alex Ferguson has left, and I really feel like it's unfair that we should be. I don't think anyone is actually blaming Rashford or McTominay or any of those guys. Again, there's no real leaders. I think Maguire, who was obviously the big signing in the summer, he's actually played well despite the goals that you've let in. He gets forward. He's trying to make something happen. He's trying to be a leader in that team, but I think it's just lacking a bit of composure and a bit of bravery, to be honest. Yeah.
And to be fair to him, he's got a talent. He said it himself. He's come out this week and he said, judge me in 5 games. And I think, to be honest, it's only fair.
Yeah.
We can see the quality he's got, but ultimately it's the team around him. But the difficult thing is that United are kind of more towards the bottom half than they are the top half.
We've only let in 8 goals though. Defensively, that's not bad. And I think to answer your question about why did Solskjaer have such a honeymoon period, just got to look at the games he had when he started. He came in when we had a really easy run of games.
PSG?
That was towards the end of it. If you look at his first 4 or 5 games, it was against teams in the bottom half of the table. He should have, Mourinho would have won those games.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was, a lot of hype happened against PSG, but a handball that was never really, I still don't think it was fair to give that as a penalty. What else did he win? He was giving it too early. I mean, I love Solskjaer. Been defending him, and he's not going to go. He's not going to get fired. But United are in turmoil defensively, only letting 8. Not bad defensively, but can't attack.
They don't
Score
create.
goals. Yeah.
What do they create? And I've
Nothing.
said that a couple of times. It's hard to have any of their players in your team.
It's hard to
where
say
are the goals
nothing.
coming from?
Yeah, we've made that. We create a few chances each game. We do create 3-4 chances, but we don't have a goal scorer. And it's like what we said about Lukaku. Why did they let him go?
Yeah.
He was an out-and-out goal scorer. We have Rashford and Greenwood.
It didn't make sense, right?
It's ridiculous.
I guess the difficult thing for Solskjaer is that he was dealing with a lot of players that just didn't want to be there, right? And he was saying Lukaku,
it's a transition.
and Sanchez just didn't want to be there. So why do you want to keep a player that also want to be there? All big teams have faced that with players that have been lured by other leagues and other teams. So it is a difficult one.
But I think United are struggling, and we all know that. But I think we'll leave that game there. I've had enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Chatting about it.
Fair
We're
enough.
not the only team struggling. Let's have a look at those. Those fixtures last weekend, right? Yeah. We saw some big teams get beaten. Captain, your lads, they went off to Brighton, didn't they?
Spurs versus Brighton.
Or did they welcome Brighton? They welcomed Brighton with open arms.
Emirates Stadium.
This must have been an easy victory for the mighty Spurs.
Thinking they were going to have a day at the seaside.
In Brighton, it was the early kick-off, 4:30 for you, wasn't it, mate? Did
And
you get up?
Brighton started bright, 3 minutes in a goal, and it kind of just set the tone. But by half-time, Spurs are 2-0 down. And
Calamity
what's
from
really
Lloris.
happening there? This headline's coming out. Does anyone know the real truth?
What do you
It's
think?
off the field,
Well,
do you think?
I mean, at the end of the day, they've lost, they've conceded 10 goals in 2 games. That's just...
Yeah, you got spanked 8-2, didn't you, by Bayern Munich as well? Sorry, 7-2. Was it 7?
Yeah.
Still a
Not,
spanking.
not a good week for Spurs, Captain?
You did say last week, Captain, that Spurs, there was a lot of
Turmoil.
unhappiness on your side. I said you were being harsh and a week. Yeah, Beavis Kane's getting involved.
You better watch your own way.
Take that, Mrs. Sissoko.
Tippy for my boho.
Oh, Mrs. Sissoko.
Go.
Me, Beavis Kane. What's going on, Russ? What's happening, Captain? Tottenham in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, how many wins have they had in the last 6 games?
3 this season, mate.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
One more than United.
It's just
2 in the last 5.
It's just not looking really good. It's like, I personally think, being a Spurs fan, tottery Tottenham. That's their performance last week. Tottery Tottenham. It was just diabolical.
What about Brighton, though? Look good going forwards, a lot of good attacking play.
Yeah. I mean, Spurs, to be honest, Lloris has let in another clanger, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And he's gone to catch the ball and he somehow dropped it and then he's pretended he's injured. No one's buying that, mate. You were not injured. You've just made a complete hash of something in the 3rd minute, having hashed it last week for Danny Ings. And Connolly, the lad, nips in and tucks the ball home. Was it Connolly?
Aaron Connolly, yeah.
And he scored a
didn't
second.
score,
though,
no.
Yeah, he looks
Neil
good.
Maupay.
Where did he come from? Has he played any of the other games? I literally have not seen him on the.
I think it was Maupay
starting
actually.
lineup.
Sorry, Maupay that got the first.
He got the first, but Connolly still got 2.
Connolly got 2.
Yeah, Connolly got 2 good goals.
Looks good.
Yeah, it was
There's something,
nice.
there's something to be
there.
said about the youngsters coming through. There's something to be said actually in the grander schemes about English football this year in the English Premier League. Is a lot of the players are coming through, technically good players, and competing with the best.
We did say Spurs were struggling though. Like last week, we did say that they don't look that convincing.
Yeah, captain called it, right? He's been saying it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We just don't look the same.
They only had 8 shots,
and now we know why, because the old
and 3 on target.
So what I found interesting about Lloris's injury away from the football here is
dislocated his elbow.
Well,
you did he?
He did, because he went down clutching his
fair
arm.
enough.
But but at the same time, they decided to take him off with an oxygen tank. I've never seen
it's pain. It's pain,
goalkeeper with, I guess it's gas and air for the
dislocated. Did you not see the replay though? When you see the replay and his elbow literally goes the other way, it's like, that's painful.
Power on the shot.
So, should we move on to the next game, lads? Let's go to Liverpool for NVD versus Leicester, because that was the big game of the weekend.
Big result, important last minute, Leicester late.
Milner.
Yeah.
Big result. The Iceman cometh, the Iceman score.
Yeah. And we would, ironically... Jimmy
Who's the Iceman? Pookie?
Last week, Jimmy,
He's the Icelandic man. Mum's been to Iceland.
Last week you did call, albeit as a joke, getting Milner in your team. That's a great recommendation.
You heard it.
You said he's the most
guys.
exciting man in the Premier League.
FPL.
James Milner.
He was awesome. What a through ball that was for Mane's first.
Great through ball.
And NVD, you told me Mane was off form, and
I didn't tell you that.
No?
Not at all. But
stuck with him. Good
stuck
lad.
with
but you're right. Absolutely right to kind of call it out, regardless if it was in jest or not. Last week, Jimmy.
But Milner, tell me.
Milner played well. Great midfield performance from him. Just generally from the team, I did think they shaded Leicester. I thought, Leicester in terms of kind of seasons beforehand, even though they've been our bogey team and beaten us, I think we played well against them. We created more chances. We had 18 shots compared to 2.
Yeah.
They had 1 on target as opposed to we had 8.
They got their first shot on target 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Good goal though from Madison. He was in the right place.
We talked about Madison last
and
week.
We spoke about him last week. Just generally, I think even going forwards as a tip to FPL managers, I think Madison great on form,
high confidence.
When he's really creative as well. Then actually, if you've got Vardy in your team as well, great link-up player. Vardy didn't really do the job. I thought he'd score, to be honest. I thought he'd be
I called it last week, mate. I told you he doesn't score, and Sean, the John McGinn fanboy, said he doesn't do it against the top teams.
And you both were right. He really didn't. He was shut out, but I'll say that's more.
Liverpool know how to defend.
I'll say that's more to the Liverpool defensive. But at the end of the day, it was a good game. Leicester got themselves back in the game. I still feel it was definitely a penalty. There was contact. Mane might have made a lot more of it than it seemed.
Contentious.
Yeah.
The thing was, the contact happened. Then he threw himself on the floor. It wasn't like...
Agreed.
It was a foul, but it was a foul. It wasn't a foul like... Had he have fallen then, I would have believed.
I would say it was harsh. It was a harsh decision, but,
I thought it had to be given. What was Albrighton doing?
It had to be.
He gave away the ball there, first of all. He should have cleared it. Thought up trying to be a bit too clever, and then he gives away the ball, and then he just reaches a minute of a game when you're drawing in the box.
And from a striker's perspective, I mean, if you get contact, you're told to go down.
He went down so late, mate.
I'll
take it. Got me an assist.
VAR even reviewed it. Because of that contact, it's almost like we kind of called it early on in one of our first episodes. We said there's going to be a lot of penalties this season because of VAR, because they're obviously going to be looking at every single decision.
So what about Milner then? He takes the penalties. He got an assist. He played 90 minutes first time this season.
3 bonus points.
Yeah, is he? Why did he play? I'm scratching my head still.
First of all, that penalty, there was a lot of pressure.
You've got to think about kind of the game. Quite exhausting midweek against Salzburg.
Yeah.
To be honest, we were quite fortunate in that game as well, being 3-0 up, and then they came back
4-3, wasn't it?
Quite impressively, to be honest, 3-3, and then we won it thanks to Mo Salah. So a lot of exhausted players. Milner came in, did a job really well. That's kind of what we've got him for. He's angling for a new contract.
Do you think he's going to start playing week in, week out, or?
I wouldn't say week in, week out, but he's that great utility player. So I think for FPL managers, if you start to kind of see him, looking at the squads beforehand, and you start to see him in there, he's naturally easily going to be on for the 90 minutes. You can guarantee yourself that. But he's a penalty taker.
He does take the pens. That's why it's interesting. Yeah.
And I think kind of not last season, maybe the season before last, he got a lot of points in Fantasy Premier League purely just being that designated penalty taker. So he'll get you points that way. I think from a Liverpool perspective, though, I think you need to, me included, need to drop ties with Salah. I still think actually Mane is turning the corner now and is going to be...
Mane's looking good, man.
Yeah, do you stick with
He's
Mane?
being that go-to guy now. He's being the standout forward, to be honest.
And Salah's
for
injured, right?
Salah's got a knock. He's
He
saying
picks up a knock.
75%. Do you stick with Salah or do you go with a form player who's obviously Mane? You know, a lot of people who had Mane would have been laughing at the weekend because he was